Welcome to Inner Peace with Dr. Reese, a program that can help you become liberated in the modern world. Now, here's your host, Dr. Kevin W. Reese.
The Subconscious Mind. Welcome to episode number 95. Throughout almost 100 episodes of this podcast, you have heard me use the term programming over and over and over again. We are programmed, specifically our first 7 or 8 years on this planet. Our parents, our society, once we get into kindergarten, our schooling, our friends, the television, social media, whatever, it keeps programming ideas and beliefs into our head, and we create habits and belief systems. This gets downloaded into a part of our brain which many call the subconscious mind. By the time you're middle-aged, which is technically about 35 years old, you're programmed. You are a program. If you were programmed to think you're not good enough, then you're going to feel you're not good enough. If you are programmed to like nachos and cheese during Monday Night Football, then that's going to be your lifelong habit. Even if you stop it, it might be your craving. This is in the subconscious mind. And it creates what's called auto thoughts. Auto thoughts are the thoughts that happen uncontrollably. In other words, you're driving on the highway. You don't need to pay that much attention because you drove so many times. It's in your programming. You know how to drive. So your mind drifts. And it goes into auto thoughts, typically auto thoughts. There's a difference between auto thoughts and non-auto thoughts, or what some would call conscious thoughts. Conscious thoughts is when you're thinking on purpose. That's usually when you're creating something, communicating. What I'm doing right now with you, I'm using my conscious mind. You know, writing a book, giving a presentation, or just having a one-on-one with yourself to, let's say you're analyzing a relationship or something, you know. That's you're thinking on purpose. Auto thoughts is when your mind drifts off into these weird thoughts and you're just like, where'd that come from? Or some people get so used to it, they don't even check it anymore. They just let them come and go, and they come and they go, and they come and they go. Now, the issue with this is that your thoughts create feelings in your body. So if you constantly have the auto thought of, I'm not good enough, or that project I always wanted to do probably doesn't make any sense, I probably would just fail at it anyway, that's going to give your body the feeling of, disappointment or whatever, what other feeling you might get. And so this wears on the body, and it wears on your attitude and your mood. Auto thoughts. So that's your homework. Watch your mind, pay attention to it, and notice what thoughts are automatic and what thoughts are on purpose. Watch your auto thoughts. When you sit down to meditate, you'll see a lot of auto thoughts, a lot of them. And they're backed up by beliefs and habits. A lot of my auto thoughts are rehearsing. Even if there's not a seminar coming up, I tend to go into like presentation mode. How would I explain this? And so the mind is in the habit of doing that. All mind really is the action of the brain. That's mind, because mind isn't an actual thing that you can hold. Your brain is. Your brain can be held in someone's hand, but not your mind. So these auto thoughts, they can be very disturbing to a human being. That's what causes a panic attack or anxiety. You get into these thoughts, and then the what ifs start. Here's another example of the subconscious and a habit and auto thoughts coming together. If you were stung by a bee when you were 5 years old, and it was a bad experience, then you might be scared of bees for the rest of your life. Even if it's not a yellow jacket, even if it's a queen bee who doesn't even sting. You see the bee and you're like, and you run. Okay? Your auto thought automatically jumps in like a bodyguard trying to protect you. Bee, go, get out. Fight or flight, right? And so that memory triggers the auto thought. This is all in the subconscious mind. And then your conscious mind goes into the what ifs as a habit. So it's like this back and forth that just spirals out of control. Before I continue, I want to invite you also to the Patreon page to help support this podcast. Only asking for $11.11 a month to help. Definitely a lot of work keeping this puppy going. And episode 100 is coming up. Wow. So thank you for listening for all this time. I've talked to a few people that are new and have been skipping around, and they've been going back to this episode and that episode. And that's great. That's what it's all about. This is all on demand. So definitely hit the link in the description or go to patreon.com/Dr. Reese and see if you'd like to contribute and try to build a community with me. So, auto thoughts, subconscious mind. So we can reprogram the subconscious mind. It takes work, it takes effort. But just like a computer, it's taking out the software, downloading something else. It's download's a good term. Downloading something new, a new belief or a new habit. You can try that physically today. When you go to brush your teeth, try brushing your teeth with your opposite hand. It will feel a little awkward, but you can create that habit if you so choose. You have to do it every day. I would tell you that in a month, you'll be able to brush your teeth with your opposite hand, no problem. And so, we can change. We absolutely can change. The subconscious mind, if there's something in there that's creating your auto thoughts, and the auto thoughts are making you, giving you these attitudes, these moods, which are affecting your body. Your body gets used to it, so it starts looking for the chemicals, right? It's like if you get frustrated being in traffic every day at 8 in the morning, and then one day, or Saturday rolls around and there's no traffic because you're at home watching TV, your body may still be looking for those stress chemicals because it's used to it for 5 days a week. So the body, it's like an animal. You have to train it. The body typically follows the mind. Not all the time, but typically. And sometimes the mind follows the body. In order to change the subconscious mind, the first thing you have to do is become aware. You have to start watching the mind. Watchfulness. which is a form of meditation, something we've talked about many times on this podcast. So that's step one. Well, you can sit down in a chair, close your eyes, and meditate. Watch your mind for just 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. When you're done, you can whip out a piece of paper or whip out the notes on your phone and write down what you witnessed. Like, oh, my mind had this auto thought and that auto thought and this and that. You know, if you did that every day for a week, you'd have a list of notes that would pretty much explain your mind and how it's programmed. And you look at that sheet and say, oh, wow. And it doesn't even have to be while you're meditating. It could be while you're driving, while you're on a walk. Whenever you're relaxed and undistracted is usually when the auto thoughts kick in. Take note. I got these thoughts and that thought, this thought and that thought. Are they auto or are they voluntary? Remember, my thoughts that are coming through on this microphone right now are voluntary. Sometimes they're on purpose and sometimes they're not. Auto thoughts are not on purpose. And they create our mood. Yeah, I'm being repetitive right now. I'm downloading it in you. One of the ways that you can reprogram your subconscious also is by this exercise called whole brain posture. It's something that I've learned recently. And I'm not going to tell you completely how to do it. You can go look it up. But whole brain posture is essentially you do like this motion with your body, which sort of puts your left brain and right brain together. Because of course they're split. And once they're together, then there's a window of opportunity to download a new goal or belief. And how do we do that? We do that with affirmations. Affirmations. So, for example, and affirmations in general will help you. So you don't have to do the whole brain posture right away. You can just try affirmations. So I would even say affirmations would be step 2 after the meditation, watching the mind. So let's say you have an auto thought that you can't do it. Whatever the project is that you want to do, your mind is saying, you can't do it. Okay. First, you recognize that your auto thought is you can't do it. Then you flip the script and you come up with an affirmation that is the opposite. You go to the final result. So the affirmation isn't I can do it. The affirmation is, let's say it's building a shed. Okay, you want to build a shed. You don't feel like paying full price to just buy it. You want to build it yourself. But your auto thoughts are saying you can't do it. So the affirmation would be, my shed is strong and beautiful. That's the result. And you're talking about it as if it already happened. That's the affirmation. My shed is strong and beautiful. And then you would do the whole brain posture, or not, just keep doing the affirmation. Just keep drilling it into your head. My shed is strong and beautiful. My shed is strong and beautiful. And then you try to bring up that feeling. What does it feel like after you build the shed that's strong and beautiful? What does it feel like? So you have to visualize and you have to feel what it feels like to accomplish the goal. Then you can start downloading this into your subconscious, whether you do whole brain posture or not. My understanding is that whole brain posture is the best way to do it, but affirmations will help too. Although affirmations are part of whole brain posture too. Say you're talking about your health. Say you're having some health concerns. Instead of saying things like, I am unwell, or what if I have this or that? No, the affirmation is something like, this is one of my favorites, is I trust my body. It heals every day. I trust my body. It heals every day. Another one could be, I am strong, limber, and healthy. Or my body is strong, limber, and healthy. And the visualization is you running around in a yard, feeling great, or whatever the result that you want it to be, you make it. You have the power to create with your mind. I mean, if a bunch of people can get together and use their minds to create a skyscraper in New York and put it on paper and then actually carry through with workers to build it, that's an amazing feat on this earth, right? So we can create with our mind. The affirmations are important. Be careful of the negative affirmations. We make negative affirmations all the time and don't even realize it. Watch yourself every time you say I am, or I have, or I'm going to, and then fill in the blank. I've been trying to teach this to my mom a little bit lately. Using an example, we were coming back from the doctor just some time ago. We were talking about foods that help the mind, protect the mind from dementia and things like that. And she made this comment. She said, oh, I probably already have it, or, it's really negative. And I'm like, no. No. Don't even say that. Don't even say it out loud. That's the first step, is don't say it out loud. Obviously, the mind is saying it in the head first, but then switch it in the head. Now go reverse that affirmation, because that's an affirmation. Now go reverse it. Now you got to go reverse it. My brain is healthy, or my brain performs its functions perfectly for years to come. That's the affirmations. That's how you turn it around, man. Turn it around. Catch yourself, turn it around, and download it into your subconscious. A lot of scientists say that your subconscious is 95% of your mind. 95. Your programming is thick. It's thick. Affirmations are a very, very great tool to use. This is all part of higher consciousness. And we heard Vishrant talking about this on the past episode, that the step before super consciousness is higher consciousness. And all higher consciousness is a heightened awareness of paying attention to your thoughts, emotions, feelings, and surroundings. It's an awareness. It's a present moment awareness. Super consciousness, don't even worry about it. Not everyone's going to get there. I would think a lot of people don't want to get there. But we can live in a state of higher consciousness. I would invite you to check out the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza or Dr. Bruce Lipton, or go back a few years to Louise Hay or Dr. Wayne Dyer. These are all folks that put in the work, lay down blueprints for us for higher consciousness. Some people call it law of attraction. You can create with your mind. You don't have to sit here and fantasize or try to create a Lamborghini. Create the life you want as far as your feeling, your attitude, your happiness, your surroundings, your bank account even. So just to recap, sit down, watch your mind for 10 to 20 minutes a day for a week. Take notes. What's your mind? How's your mind? What are the patterns of your mind right now? Then look at it and create positive affirmations to reverse the negative auto thoughts. Start saying your affirmations. If you want to look up whole brain posture, do that, or the people that I just named. But don't take affirmations lightly. Affirmations are words, but words create feelings. So a positive affirmation can change a feeling in your body. If you're feeling down on a day, you could reverse your mood with a positive affirmation. I allow happiness and joy into my life, or something along those lines. If somebody gets under your skin, find something good about them and affirm it. If your neighbor pisses you off and their name is, say, Tom, then you affirm. Tom is a lovely man who cares about the neighborhood. Tom is a lovely man who cares about the neighborhood. Right? Something like that. This is how we start reprogramming that subconscious mind. So I hope this has been helpful. We're coming up on episode 100. We got an episode with Rupert Spira coming up. We got an episode with Gangaji coming up. We got another episode, part 2, with Dr. Robert Morse. I appreciate you listening. And, sometimes one of my affirmations is, my podcast is valuable and important. Because sometimes I need motivation to keep going. Look, I don't have a huge following here. I don't. And that can get discouraging. But I know it's helping a small group of people. So, the affirmation is, my podcast is valuable and important.
Thanks for listening to Inner Peace with Dr. Reese. If this episode opened your heart, feel free to share on social media and tell your loved ones. Also, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, may peace be with you.